Hello and welcome to another discussion on topics in criminology. Today we will be discussing two famous concepts in the field of law enforcement or in policing. You have there the old concept, and of course, you have there the modern concept. In the old concept, it is believed that law enforcement officers or the police is a repressive machinery. It is a tool used by a government in order to suppress its people, in order to suppress the citizenry, in order to make the people follow what the government wants. And back then, in order for a police agency, in order for a police department to be considered as efficient and effective, they they should incarcerate hundreds of people. So basically, the measuring stick or the yardstick or the basis of police effectiveness and efficiency will be the number of arrests. Now that's the old concept because again, it believes that the more offenders, if we get offenders from the community and separate them from the community, we separate them from the good folk, from the community, and incarcerate them in jails and prisons, then we are separating them from society. Therefore, they can no longer harm society. They can no longer do their evil acts because, again, they are separated from the community. But again, with all the human rights abuses that are coming up, overcrowding in prisons and in jails, lack of facilities, lack of budget and financing for these correctional institutions and jails, you know, and we have to add up the poor living conditions. Okay, the poor living conditions that these inmates and prisoners, these residents have to bear while serving their sentence. So imagine if you're serving like around 40 years in prison in those living conditions where you are cramped up, diseases everywhere, don't even know if your cellmate has hepatitis or something or tuberculosis. Well, because inmates and prisoners, residents, up to this point in time, are still being treated as outcasts. Not outcasts, but they're being treated differently from those people who are currently in the community. Why? Because again, at the end of the day, they deserved to be incarcerated. Well, again, we don't know how justice systems work in different countries, but of course, you have their corrupt governments, you have their governments that, of course, there's always miscarriage of justice everywhere. So we really don't know. But again, take note that these inmates, these residents, these prisoners, they have rights. They still have human rights, even though they are incarcerated in these correctional institutions. Okay, so that's the old concept. The more effective and the more efficient a police agency is, if it has more arrests. Okay, so we keep putting people in jails and prisons, and people will appreciate it because we're doing our jobs. That's the point there. Now we go to the modern concept. Under the modern concept, the basis for police effectiveness and efficiency will be the absence of crime, which is quite unattainable because, again, if we are going to consider the theory of anomy, okay, the theory of anomy, you also have to consider there that not every people think the same. They don't think, everybody doesn't think alike. Even if one individual is so pure to the point that he thinks that everybody is good because me, I think like this. I think of positive things. But then when he goes outside, he gets stabbed and he dies. Poor fellow. But the irony there is that, again, we cannot attain a crime-free, as in total crime-free community, because again, crimes are an important ingredient for change in communities. That's why we have amendments in our laws. That's why we have improvements in the field of policing. That's why we have new laws, because again, it's a trial and error. It's a trial and error uh, way of managing things. If something goes wrong, then we have to improve. Am I correct? We have to improve something. If we made a mistake, then we improve, we revise, we rationalize. Now, in the modern concept, again, the measuring stick, the basis of police efficiency is, of course, crime prevention. It's focused on crime prevention to the point that if there are no arrests, or there are less cases of arrests being conducted by the police, then the police are considered as your effective and efficient law enforcement agency. Now that's their basis. Crime free. They are able to prevent or even suppress the occurrence of crimes. So that's it, folks, for the difference between your modern concept and your old concept in the field of policing. I hope to see you again, and thank you for watching this video. Okay, let's help each other grow, let's help each other learn new things, and always keep safe, ladies and gentlemen.